Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because in this video, we are talking about some dated design that is back. If you have it, lucky you. And if you're thinking about it, these could be some good ideas. We're gonna talk about how to use it. So the first thing we have to talk about, the dated design that is back, honey oak cabinetry. Honey oak, wood stain, wood tones, all of it. And I know it's kind of a gag, like a little bit shocking to say that it's back, but here is the thing. This really fell off because it was so niche. It was really done in a certain time period. It's indicative of a certain age, but the reality is we are moving into this place where we're embracing our own styles, we're working with what we have, or we're really loving a historic reference and mixing different styles together. So if you see a house that has this in it, like the quality is top tier. Like we really are not doing stuff like this anymore. So honey oak is not a bad thing. It's not inherently dated. It's usually what it's surrounded with that is. It's this sort of psychological fight or flight response where it's, I don't like that, it's not right, it looks old, so everything has to change. And the reality is that's not always true. So with honey oak cabinetry, I know a lot of people, a lot of design commentators on social media will be like, oh no, it's super dated. That is what untrained people think or have to say because they just don't know how to work with it and actually make the references to make it work. How do you work with it? That depends on the style and that depends on the features you have. This is obviously somewhere where I recommend having a designer maybe make some references and kind of share some opinions based on your personal space. So book a call with me, use the link in the description box down below, intro.co/GarrettLeChic. We can have a virtual one-on-one FaceTime kind of like call where you can show me around your home and I can answer some of those difficult questions you may have to get that space looking the best it possibly could without telling you, hey, that's all dated and garbage and trash and rip it out, because that's not my brand. Also, beside the point. Now, how you work with the honey oak cabinetry depends on the style you're after. If you say, I want something that has more of like a cottage or a farmhouse type feel, I'm gonna say, okay, what are some colors we can reference into that? A little bit of black and white goes a long way, mixed with some cream tone, some softer elements. So I might say black granite countertops with a beadboard backsplash and a cafe curtain on the window. Those things are immediately going to start to make that feel and that reference, and then it just comes down to what utensils are we going to use as decor that once again enable that style. Because no matter what style you have, no matter what detail or finish you have, what is going to tell you if it's timeless or not is the quality. And honey oak cabinetry, whether you like it or not, is oak, and that means it's golden. Another design trend that is back, it's super dated and people don't like it, but it is back, are spotlights or art lights, targeted lighting schemes on your ceiling. So there's been this whole trend of like, don't use the big light, don't use the big light, recessed lighting is out, and that is very true. I am not the biggest fan of just like recessed lighting as being your lighting source or only having overhead lighting. I do think you need lighting at every layer and level of the space just to create softness and give you more options. But spotlights or targeted lighting is amazing. And so we had it with track lighting, which I don't need to tell you how bad that was. A lot, just very bulky, a lot of hardware, and usually it was in like a black metal color on the ceiling, so it's like just like grabbing attention. But targeted lighting is so efficient for using it all over the space. And like if you have art, if you have an interesting wall texture, or if you're just like, gosh, I don't know what to do, I need more lighting, but I don't have room for lamps, recessed and spot lighting can be amazing. So recessed lighting, you can get like micro LED lights that are able to be angled and targeted onto a wall, and that's what I like, is when the light is projected onto the walls or onto, it might be a piece of art or a piece of furniture or something like that on the wall. That's a 10 out of 10. And it's going to do a couple of things. Number one, we get layered lighting. So by the lighting projecting onto the wall, it's a little more diffused, and so it's softer, and you get this really interesting sort of like shape on the wall of the lighting that can be so beautiful because it's also layering into the space. It's not just a glaring light we're staring into at the ceiling, right? It's soft, it's delicate, it's beautiful. The other thing you can do is actually like a physical light fixture that is mounted to the ceiling, and it is a spotlight. Great, love those. They can be a really good thing if you have more of like a minimalist style or you like something really contemporary to bring these in, can be really great. I probably wouldn't do a track light. I just don't like that, but these individual spotlights are really good and they can be a little bit easier to maneuver and pivot and really target whatever it is you're looking to light up. You also get a little bit of extra hardware. You can match them to the ceiling color. You can do something that's contrasting. You can make a reference in terms of a metal color or finish if you're looking to bring all of that into the space. Whenever we talk about trends, we have to talk about hardware and the material, the finish in your space, because hardware trends come and go, and I do think this is a really good way to work with your color scheme, add some contrast, infuse some personality, and the hardware that I am seeing come back that I kind of like it, it's got me excited, is chrome. Chrome hardware I am seeing more and more and more of. You know, we love brass, and that was a big trend a couple of years ago, and we moved from like the unlacquered brass into something that's a little bit darker but still warm toned, like a bronze, like wrought iron. I think all of that is great. I mean, I'm just glad we got away from the like matte black hardware. Okay, like I'll just say what it is. I never was really into it, but you know, some people loved it. Beside the point. Same people telling you that honey oak cabinetry can't be worked with and you have to rip it out, but that's also beside the point. Chrome hardware I'm seeing so much more because it is very classic, it is very timeless. Now, nickel or like brushed nickel hardware, always going to be timeless because it's a warm toned silver based metal. Chrome is smooth, polished, shiny, cool toned. It's very icy toned. So when you use chrome, you do need to be somewhat careful. It looks best, in my opinion, when it's paired with warmer colors, because if you pair chrome with gray and all of these cool tones, it feels icy. It just feels like it's a drain of energy almost. It just feels so cold and it feels a little lifeless. And that's not the direction we want to head in. So if you have a lot of warm tones in your space and you're like, I want something that's going to be flashy, a little bit more like shiny and bright and polished, chrome could be the way to go, especially if you're like, I love mid-century. Chrome is like so mid-century coated, it's not even funny. And you can find a lot of pieces in that style. So I think it's a great hardware and I'm seeing more and more of it. But what I will say is that I'm a fan of mixing metals, of mixing hardware together. So for some of the areas that are going to be a little bit more hard wearing, or maybe it's a little bit more of a concern, like with chrome hardware, every fingerprint, every spot. If it's on a faucet, you're gonna get water spots that'll be never ending. And like, you know, if you have doors, exterior doors, you're probably not gonna put chrome hardware on them because it's, you know, like it's outside, it gets dirty, it's gonna show it all. So you might wanna mix two different metals together to get that. The only thing I would say chrome doesn't go with is really a brushed nickel. If you like any sort of trend-driven metal, it's always best to pair it with something that's a little more timeless and classic so that it never feels dated. But chrome is back in. You heard it here first. Speaking of what you heard here first is basically all of the good design advice ever. You heard it here first because I'm always on the hunt. I'm doing research. I'm looking into all of the things and researching. And as a trained interior designer, someone who went to school, got the degree, did all of the things, works with clients, I'm always gonna bring you real and approachable design advice. So if you're looking for some of it and you're looking for some common sense design advice also, you found the place to be. Hit the subscribe button, join us, become a part of our GarrettLeChic family. We would love to have you as a part of our design loving community. And if you've made it this far in the video, no matter whether you're subscribed or not, take a moment, give this video a like, give it a little bit of a hype to get it shared across the platform. I would greatly appreciate if we could get this video out to everyone so they can get some of the design advice that they probably need. The next dated design detail we have to talk about is, it's dated is questionable, but something that people are really loving and I'm seeing a major return to, let's say that, are pocket doors. Pocket doors are great because we're kind of in this like space and time where we're shifting away from purely open concept spaces into this modified, into the semi-closed concept, but sometimes you want to just be able to shut a door, but you don't always have the room for a door swing, or sometimes you live in a small space, a little apartment, and you don't have the room in a small bathroom to have a door that swings open, or all of the time this happens. Pocket doors are the answer. Why did we get away from pocket doors? You are probably asking yourself, like, why did we ever stop doing that? Because the technology and the hardware wasn't always sustainable and great, and it really just kind of came down to like, hey, they broke. And, instead of fixing them, just seal them up and close them, and we won't do that again. Plus, it is a expensive detail to add into a space, especially after the fact. So pocket doors really became popular in homes that were like a wood framed home that were built in areas that had, like ever-changing weather conditions, right? So like if we want it to be warm in the winter, but we don't have forced air or radiators, and we are operating off of a fireplace, we need to be able to close the doors, because we need to be able to close the doors. But also during the summer, we want to be able to open the whole house up and get breezes that come all the way through. So pocket doors were a great answer for that, because a pocket door is never going to get caught in the wind and slam shut. And it's going to be able to tuck into the walls. We can have it completely open in wonderful flow when we need it, or we can close it up and have privacy when we don't. But like I said, they were expensive to install, to maintain and operate. And once a pocket door breaks, if the door is stuck inside the wall, like, it's kind of difficult, right? But in the modern age and era, it's a lot easier. The hardware on them is much better, and there's less likelihood of having issues. So if you have a small space, if you're working on designing and building a home, look into adding a pocket door. It's not as complicated as you might think, especially if the walls are open and the construction is happening. It's kind of easy to do a lot of different changes to a space when it's under construction. And if you have your home now and you're like, gosh, a pocket door would really make the world of difference here, sit on it, think on it, and really think about, how is this going to improve the space, if it's worth opening up a wall and doing all of that with. Before I tear down half of my house and open a wall, I'm gonna do, half doors. Like if you have a 3-foot door, we do 2 1.5-foot doors, a double door that opens, because you get a lot more floor space available rather than having one big door swing. So that could be something that potentially works better for you. A lot of people will opt for a barn door instead. I don't believe in barn doors. Honestly, I don't even think a barn door is great on a barn. I would rather have a door that swings, or a Dutch style door, rather than a sliding barn door, because they don't close well, they don't stay closed well. Pocket doors have a similar issue, kind of, sort of. At least they have a locking mechanism on them that makes it much better. So I am seeing so many people across social media, across the design space, and just in my client pool in itself, that are interested in pocket doors, because sometimes that genuinely is the best solution to a small space issue. Another dated design, style, or trend that is back is one that is one of my personal favorites. And I've been talking to you for a while, but people, every time I bring it up, people are like, no, I don't like that. But it's back. You were wrong. I was right. Let you think on that for a moment. Gray and camel. The color scheme is back. The color scheme is back. For too long, people have done all neutral, all white, all beige spaces. And what is there to say other than it's boring? It's not giving. It's giving cream. It's giving white. It's giving beige. It's giving oatmeal. It's giving a loaf of bread energy, which, I mean, as a carbaholic, I do like that, but it's also giving glazed donut, which is delicious, but that's beside the point. We need a little bit of energy and some contrast, and a lot of people are not gonna have bold, vibrant colors in their spaces. They just don't want that. That's not who they are. They're not comfortable with that, and that's fine, and I love all of you, my children. Okay, so I appreciate that for you, but for a lot of other people, they want to add a little bit of interest and contrast to their space. Gray and camel is the way to go about it. It is a sophisticated color scheme. This has always been very popular in tailoring, suit wear, menswear, for example. Love gray and camel together because you have an interesting contrast, and gray has cool and warm tones in it, depending on the tone you pick. If you pick a taupier gray, like a warm toned gray, you are going to get a little bit of both. So it's a good way to bridge a gap. If you have a cool tone space that you want to warm up, you add in a gray with a warmer tone to it, and then you add camel, because The cool tones are going to accentuate the gray. The camel is going to accentuate the warm tone in the gray, and a space feels more authentic, it feels warmer, it feels more inviting, it feels more intentionally designed. So this is a good way for you to transition from something that feels boring into something that feels interesting and unique. So if you fell victim to the beige trend, hey, that's a great foundation, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place to start. But now we're ready to move on. We're ready to add something into that space. You can go the luxury route and add, a designer throw blanket and pillow or whatever. These are also natural tones. They're found in nature. You find them often in authentic, organic, natural materials, honest materials. Look for that. And also, if you're looking to create a moment that really stands out, that is a special feature, like if you're going to add in these colors and soft furnishings, look for organic materials that are not plastic, because those are things we're naturally going to gravitate. We're going to want to touch them and feel them. This is a great place to, spend a little bit of extra money and get that cashmere throw blanket. Okay, get the linen pillow cover and put the two together. That combination alone, the textures are so interesting. The colors are great together. Gray and camel, taking off, love it, seeing so much more of it, and it makes me so happy. So if you're not the person that wants to bring actual color into your space, that's fine. I respect that. I love that for you. Gray and camel are neutrals. You'll love them. Trust me. Now that we talked about some dated design styles that are back, let's talk about some home decor that never will be. Yes, home decor you do not need and should not buy. You need to check that out right over here, and I will see you over there.